and normally when I find somebody very quickly, it's because it's urgent. It's make or break somehow. I have no idea normally how, but sometimes I'm shown very graphically. And with you I got Bill and Avalon, so I went to my computer, I put Bill Avalon and your website came up, and your interview, the last interview you did, came up. So I joined your forum and I put in a post that was meant to be a flag for you to see. That it was a post that had energy behind it so that it wouldn't be missed. But then you had to actually contact me because I couldn't, go out of my way and like say, I have to work with you, right?
Yes. You had to wait for me to approach you.
Yes.
Which is exactly what I did.
Right. Yeah. I can actually say, look, I'm here. That's what I can do, either by sending an email or a personal message or putting a post to say, I'm here. And then the other person has to say, I'd like to see you, I'd like to contact you, I'd like to talk with you.
Yes. So the way that it operated me was a perfect case study of how you always work.
Yes, it was. Yes, yeah.
That is so astonishing.
Right.
And here we are. All right. And these assignments or missions or tasks, how many of these have you undertaken in your life?
It's impossible to say.
Hundreds? Thousands? How are we, a large?
Very large.
A very large number.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, some of them are tiny, Some of them is just going somewhere and being somewhere or saying something to somebody.
Just a little tiny thing that might
Right.
take a tiny part of one day.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
something else. I think you told me that there's some assignments that kind of go on
For years.
for a long time.
Yes, for years sometimes.
Do you have any understanding of why something would take a long time to resolve?
No, I've never looked at it. I've never had a curiosity of why something would be very quick and something wouldn't.
Because it's not your role to analyze anything.
Right. It is not my role to analyze it or be curious or try and connect the dots. That's done for me.
Yes. Are you curious, or do you sort of suppress your curiosity?
I'm really not.
You're really not
No,
curious?
No, it's just attention points. I mean, I have to have my focus on so many things that if I try to focus on curiosity as well, it's just, you can only do so many things. But it's entertaining and it's fun when the proof comes through or the synchronicities come through that show why and hows and all the other pieces. Because you see, I'm not working by myself. This is all orchestrated by a higher beings or self or whatever, the universe. And there's thousands upon thousands of people on the planet doing what I'm doing. And there's thousands and thousands of others, millions of others who are doing other stuff that I couldn't even go near, but have a part in what I'm doing.
What's the best way you can describe whoever or whatever it is that you get your information from, like you're targeting information from? What is all that about? What is this source of information, direction, whatever?
It comes through various different levels. One of them that I can describe very quickly because I have a focus on both is the formlessness of oneness, which is part of all, right? Like the divine source.
The ultimate unity.
Right, right. That's outside of time-space. And it would be like a spark of that came in to do a certain work. But the reason it did, you see, because it has no attachment really to what really happens on the planet, if you think about it. And the attachment or the request came in from other beings and level people. Like there was a big call from the planet as an entity and light beings within the planet saying, help, right? To do this, we need help. And that call went out. And it wasn't just a planetary call, it was also from other beings around in the galaxy which will be affected by what happens on the planet, maybe not today, but maybe in 1,000,000 years. And that call was like huge, a huge call from sentient consciousness to have some sort of intervention on the planet, to allow it in this timeline, to allow it to make the shift that it's supposed to make, and it's trying to be stopped by the negativity. So it was a huge call, and that's why beings like myself can come into time-space and do this, because it's a response to that call. The planet has a trajectory that it's following naturally. It's an evolutionary trajectory.
You mean of like the culture, the civilization, the people who live there?
Everything.
Okay.
The plants, the rocks, the water, the people, the whole thing is one entity. Even though people think, oh, we are on the planet and we were put here, so we're not really off the planet. That's an illusion, because they're made of what the planet's made out of, physically speaking. Like the flesh is made out of the same material. It came from the planet, is being fed by the planet, is part of the planet. It's all an integrated one being with different levels of consciousness inside it, including the human collective and other collectives from other sentient beings that are on the planet and have been here for millions of years. And this planet as a unit has a trajectory of evolution. And what's been happening is that this particular juncture and in this particular timeline, there's forces who are trying to stop that evolution because it's not profitable for it to evolve in their view, right?
Okay.
And then we come into like laws of existence. For this to exist, you have laws. You have the law of free will, for example, that's being violated all over the place in this planet. You have the law of time-space, the trajectory that most people would experience of linear time is a law. And laws are kind of agreed rules that the being comes in to play a game.
They're the rules of the game.
Right. So if all of a sudden the rules are being violated, the majority of players can turn around and say, bring in a referee, because this is an unfair game.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes. This is fascinating, because many years ago I knew somebody who was doing something very similar to what you were doing, and he called himself an arbiter.
Oh, yes.
And he referred to a number of other arbiters that he was aware of.
Yeah.
And this is a whole conversation we haven't had yet.
Mm.
He was the most wonderful man, and he said he'd get quite a kick out of the situation where he'd just roll up in a particular situation psychically, and then these nasty evil beings would just take one look at him and run. And of course, he'd always go and get them.
Right.
You know, there's a whole story that we can tell. But that was my first. See, this is quite interesting. This is my first experience with somebody like that, and I was instrumental in supporting him in attaining the abilities which he was then able to use. I mean, he ended a war, for example, single-handedly. It's a whole story about how he did all that. Back to where we were talking about you were coming in to handle a situation where rules had been violated,
right,
or where agreements had been violated.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, basically what's happening on the planet right now is extremely negative, and well, on a physical level, there's a violation of free will, because if you keep a collective asleep, what decisions they make is being influenced by those who are awake, and it's not really free will.
It's a bit like stopping people from voting.
Right.
Yes, sure.
Or, yeah, just taking their bodies over like they're sleeping and doing it for them, you know? So that's not really free will. So that's